It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Aha. Now him una don hear all these bad politicians them we call themselves politicians. Where they thief our money, we no want make the common man get wetin him suppose get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one. Maiyegun, you go show una paper. Maiyegun diary Politico. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo.
Hello there, brethren, and welcome back to some of you were with us earlier today. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and a very good evening to you from wherever you are tuning in tonight. It is Maiyegun live. So thank you very much for joining me. Remember what to do after reading the caption of the broadcast. Try read the description as well. That kind of tell you the story as well, right? Then like it, share it, invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them to join us. The Maiyegun is back. And as we have now started doing, I am going to keep the line opened, okay? Meaning you can make your own contribution by phoning in. That's calling the studio. The number is on the screen. Save it. It's a WhatsApp call only, right? Or you can just probably share your view right here in the comment section there and just make sure that we remain civil. I know I can't guarantee that, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in. This afternoon, Peter Obi alerted Nigerians, especially his supporters, that his relationship with the coalition guys was over. And he gave his reasons why he believed the coalition is not going to serve his purpose. And mind you, it is also very much like a trap set by the ruling party and their cohorts in opposition party. So he resigned. So did Kwankwaso, who also resigned from the NDC, the party he joined less than a month ago or so, right? Citing the same reasons that some people are adamant, they are adamant that they would remain kind of like uncooperative towards towards achieving their coalition goal. The coalition intention was to get rid of Tinubu by 2027. And the idea of opposition coming together, put their resources together, their strength to confront the incumbents, that all of them running their different causes would never really, defeat Tinubu. Now it seemed that the repeat of 2023 is about to take place. Now we have no idea if it is probably going to completely go the way of Ekolu, but as of today, it seemed to be the only one in a stable kind of like a position, despite its regime's abysmal performance, failed sort of like a governance, so to say. But this journey, if you followed us this afternoon, right, I kind of like did a recap on how they got to this point. But what I didn't show was the part where out of that coalition that they put together, it seemed that Peter Obi, the obedient, and then Kwankwaso, the Kwankwansias, they seem to have, clicked right there and on, right? Right there and then, right? They formed a movement they called OK Movement. That is Obi Kwankwaso. A kind of like idea of having Obi as presidential candidate, Kwankwaso as his vice. Meanwhile, Kwankwaso probably yet to kind of show that he wanted to be a vice president, but he seemed to be okay with it because he's been going along with it. So when he left, Obi left. And today, they've signed up to become members of NDC, and they have been issued their membership cards. But yesterday, when they met in Abuja, the OK Movement, right? Galadima, Buba Galadima, a protege of Kwankwaso, was among those speakers who addressed this OK. Now, when you hear OK, you should know that it's about obedience, and then Kwankwansias representing the Obi Kwankwaso kind of ticket. So he gave a hint that Buba Galadima, he gave a hint that they will be leaving the DC, despite the rumor in the last kind of like a few days. And the reason why they believed they won't be staying in ADC was simply because Atiku would not budge. Atiku would not kind of like step down his ambition, which according to them is going to jeopardize whatever reason behind the coalition. So since they can't work here together, so Buba Galadima gave that a hint. Let's start in Abuja yesterday. One moment.
Because in their desperation, there is nothing they cannot do. I am wondering, somebody collected nearly 34 governments. You have the security agencies at your disposal. You have the federal budget. You have the CPN. You have the Minister of Finance. You have everything. Yet, you are afraid of running an election with a company. Do you perform well if you are afraid that much? So they know that they have done nothing except in this country, go and carry a survey of who the people should vote for. The other time, the occupant of the villa commissioned the survey across this country. Poll, public opinion poll. One of them suggested that he can only win 18%. And one of them suggested that he can win as high as 22%. I even dispute that if there's a credible poll, he cannot score more than 5%. If we allow him, we hear they say, if you go to radio stations in Kano, they are supposed to tell us that they don't need to go to the polls, that they will write the results, they will get, and they themselves say that you snatch, you get, you run, you give, you do, this is all. So I'm not the international community with the kind of persons that we are dealing with. So, salvaging a country from the hands of fascists like this is not a small thing. It needs sacrifice, it needs strategy, it needs use of intellect. So, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we must prepare to safeguard our freedom. Let no one deceive you that it is going to be a big task. And that during elections, whether I am alive or dead, go to the collection centers with your office and get plans for terrorism. Either they do what is right, or we all die there, so there will be no confusion. Thank you.
INEC should do what is right, or they will all die there. People said it's the clash of egos. Some said it is just the clash of ambition. And others are saying it's a clash of both, where the people seemed to be last to be considered in any of their plans. Now that things have gotten to this stage, people are now like referencing the clip, a video from an interview where El Rufai, the Kaduna Little Finger, in December 2025, said, Tinubu will not return. And what will happen? There are going to be two scenarios. According to him, he said, one, if the opposition pull it off to come together to confront Kolu, it will be gone before midday. But if what he was kind of suspecting or projecting would happen, then that would be a 3-horse race again, where the winner will not be determined by first ballot. That is, they won't be able to announce a winner until they do the second round. And the second round, Kolu won't make it to the second round. Like, it will be far, like distant third. I don't know what El Rufai had the name, even though today the same Kolu has managed, right, to get him locked up. Some said, well, that is his own doing. First, for corruption. Second, for probably mistalk, where he said they have been tapping the phone of the government officials too, and they can hear all they are discussing, their plans and all that. So he's currently in detention for that one, spying. Now, he won't be able to be part of his own projection, the way things are going. I don't know how long they're going to hold him, but right now, the coalition has collapsed. Peter Obi has moved. And obviously, it is going to be a 3-horse race. A throwback.
Campaigners, but I couldn't deliver the state to him. Bola Tinubu himself couldn't win his state with his own governor in place. So these things are not as theoretical as people want them to be. And if you want to engage in self-delusion, you are free to do so. So I will not tell you how we are going to win, but I tell you very clearly, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the worst case scenario in the 2027 elections is that no winner will emerge in the first round. We may have to go for runoff. And Bola Tinubu will not be on the ballot for the runoff because he will at best be third in the election. He has no pathway to win. I have campaigners.
That's a very deep one. Now, there are those who are saying that for Peter Obi to leave coalition that they are putting together, he has left himself vulnerable because he will not be able to pull off the same thing that the obedient pulled off in 2023. Meanwhile, others are now saying, no, that is what he should have done a while back. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he registered his own political party. Of course, rufai has said they attempted to register political parties, and INEC didn't allow it. Even this Seriake Dickson party, NDC, is a creation of court. INEC didn't register them. Court had to give a judgment that said they must be registered. And that is why the NDC, ADC is African Democratic Congress. NDC is Nigeria Democratic Congress. So it's pretty much like just changing of clothes or something, right? A and N. So it was created by court. There are those who believe that, suddenly, you may begin to have a court cases against NDC before the end of this week. And it's going to be about their registration. Suddenly, now that the OB and Kwankwaso and others have now moved there. But if there is something that people, they say, usually come back to bite people, is that the failure to learn from history, especially history that is so recent. The obedient and others have always been underrated. And they are not just being underrated because of, because that these guys feel so powerful. No. They are mostly underrated because they believe that the political structure needed to match the establishment man to man, that they don't have it, or they do not have the wherewithal to put such in place. That they may have the number, but as long as those numbers cannot be secured, protected during election or during voting, then it is mostly of no use. And that's why they are doing everything to ensure that they decimate that strength, that number. And they've done so well in the Electoral Act, which we are also going to get into later. So after the OK meeting yesterday, the rumor was kind of like, rife that they were going to leave, but it was meant to be tomorrow, not today. So until Peter Obi this morning or nearly this noon announced that he will be leaving. Now, how is it going to play out? From the 4 people tweeting inside the room, and those who witnessed that are currently saying, right, that will never happen again. And some are saying, except if you are living in denial, this their ADC, the momentum they have enjoyed started from the moment that even Peter Obi himself said he's been part of this idea of coalition since 2024, where they have been like, searching for platforms, the idea of how they should do the coalition and blah, 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 until they found this ADC in 2024. Then they took it over in 2025. Obi joined them in 2025. So the momentum they enjoyed was basically because the idea that Obi would be part of their coalition is received his own knocks and praises. Anyway, those who felt like, why would you go and relate with the same criminals that a lot of these young people are actually trying to get rid of, like do without going forward? And others said, well, you will need the good, the bad, and the ugly if you really want to take on the establishment. So right now, it seemed that their relationship with this gang of career criminals, as you have put it, especially the obedient, the relationship has partly ended. But there is still Kwankwaso in the picture. In 2023, with election, they recorded 6.1 million votes for Peter Obi, where he was declared winner of 11. He won in 11 states, clear winning, and then at the FCT, right? He got 25% in about 18 states, not up to 24 states required by law. Meanwhile, Kwankwaso on his own won a single state, that was Kano, and he performed woefully, mostly even in his own region, the northwest region of Nigeria. Well, he scored 1.2 million votes. If you add that to Peter Obi's, well, I mean, that can give them about 7.3 to 7.4 million votes. With the abysmal performance of Ekolu in the last 8 years, which a lot of people believe that there are Nigerians, if given the chance, that will never really want Tinubu to return. There are many other factors, so here you get. So considering that, they believe that they have the chance to upset the system again, and this time stand their ground, not aiming to go to any court after the election. Long talk. So what I'm going to do now is that I will take you to their process of meeting with the NDC. You know, the founder of NDC is Seriake Dickson, a staunch PDP member, former PDP governor, former AD national legal advisor. Yeah, I don't know if some of you remember that Seriake Dickson, the former Bayelsa governor, was actually a former AD national legal advisor. He was once with Kolu in the same political party. Then he joined PDP, became a governor of Bayelsa State, and just last year, right? Just last 2 months or thereabout, he resigned from PDP, you know, with all this crisis. By then, the court had already ordered INEC to register them. So he quickly moved to his own political party. There are those who have said again that this NDC probably is the end goal or the real plan at the end of the day. Like, yeah, people are talking about coalition, the blah, right? That may even in itself be a decoy. This coalition talk all this while is a decoy, because according to people, this NDC, supposedly owned by Seriake Dickson, has this Obasanjo link in it. In fact, his registration and everything up to this moment has the link to Obasanjo, right? So where a lot of them are saying, maybe at the end of the day, it was actually the, you know, ADC was like a mean to an end. Why this their NDC is real the end, whatever, right? So today, Obi, Kwankwaso, both of them went to Seriake Dickson's house in Abuja, which currently serves as the, you know, like the makeshift secretariat of the NDC. A lot of those who have been joining them in the party have been meeting Seriake Dickson right in this house. His house is in Abuja. Yeah, let's start with that and all that transpired when they met Dickson. First, the arrival.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
No, wait. We need to go inside here.
Who is that, huh? Please, excuse me. I leave the road. Let's go. Wait. Let's go. Where? Look. Hello. How are you? Hello. How are you? Hey, how are you?
So that is how Okute is now a member of NDC. They have just less than 3 weeks, right, to finalize who is going to be who. So from one of Kwankwaso's, kind of like a group. So they highlighted the reasons why Kwankwaso had to leave. So I'm going to read them out. I was trying to read them out this afternoon, but we had so many calls. So before I start taking the calls, right, they said, one, that the ADC betrayed him, that's Kwankwaso. He accused them of refusing to sign an agreement to allocate a share of political positions to the NNPP in states where NNPP is strong. Okay. He also said, this is Kwankwaso, that they are planning to leave ADC for another political party. That was so because ADC is facing many court cases that the party may not be able to overcome. He also revealed that they have reached an understanding with Peter Obi, Bala Muhammad, and Seyi Makinde to join a new political party. We are yet to see that part. We have seen Obi and Kwankwaso join this, and mind you, Bala Muhammad didn't join ADC. He went on to go and join APM from PDP. It is only Seyi Makinde out of this faction that seems to kind of like remain. The Ibadan Pali, the Ibadan Summit, opposition summit in Ibadan, has also collapsed. So everything that has to do with that coalition, this stuff, right, collapsed. Maybe other new coalitions are going to pop up after this, but for now, yeah. So it's Kwankwaso stated that between yesterday and then between yesterday and Tuesday, they will officially announce their move to a new party. So they didn't wait till tomorrow. They've done that today already. So he also said that the ADC is planning to use direct primaries, which he described as a trap. He added that no party can successfully produce a presidential candidate through direct primaries without internal conflicts, disputes, and power struggles. So they said it is very, very expensive for them to do direct primaries. APC right now, they are doing consensus. Yeah, a lot of people are just finding out that they are not going to return to National Assembly or State Assembly because, yeah, they are sitting somewhere writing the names and picking those who are going to be given their party forms and tickets, right? But the opposition that is yet to actually find their own footings, find their bearing, right? They are those where Atiku is pressuring that if they want to do consensus, it must be him. And if they don't want to do consensus, they should do direct primaries. And they are trying to work out and pick, I think a lot of them actually supported Peter Obi to be the flag bearer because, especially most of them from Northern Nigeria, because they have the impression genuinely that Obi is going to do 4 years and the power is going to return to them in the North. They actually believe that. So Atiku is the only one that doesn't believe that. So to him, no. ADC can zone their tickets. It must be him, and this is his own last shot. So majority of them are positioning themselves for 2031 when power returns back to the north. With Atiku going for it now, is going to jeopardize or truncate that in a way. And mostly, they really probably have nothing to lose, just to say. So, another reason here said they met with Rotimi Amaechi to discuss whether he will withdraw his presidential ambition so that a candidate could emerge through consensus. Amaechi refused. According to him, this increases the likelihood of internal crisis within the party. Kwankwaso also said, right, added that Muhammad Ayatuddin, that's another person now, another northerner who has joined ADC. That Ayatuddin man is also running for ADC presidential tickets too. So now they have two northerners showing interest, Atiku and Ayatuddin in ADC, right? So Kwankwaso said, Ayatu is preparing to run for president under the party. He said it is unlikely that Ayatuddin would agree to step down for consensus, meaning direct primaries would become a major problem for the party. He gave the example of the Congress for CPC, Congress of Progressive Change, CPC, saying that 12 years after the party conducted direct primaries to select its candidates, the issue is still in court due to internal disputes. So to avoid all of this, they decided to move. So he urged his supporters and every one of them to get ready. So yeah, today, they didn't wait till tomorrow, Monday. Okay, so they moved today. And after that arrival, Seriake Dickson, who seemed so happy, he's been trying to bring them over for a while. I mean, he's met with Mark and others and told them that maybe it was time for them to leave ADC and come to his own party, that they can have all they want. Like, come, let's do it with, but they just wouldn't for some reason. So when he saw Obi and Kwankwaso today, he seemed to be the guy on top of the world. And then he had a speech. But first,
and I don't want to violate the electoral rules, but
anyway, so from what we have gathered, NDC is going to give Peter Obi their presidential tickets. Well, tomorrow is another day, and 24 hours is a very long time in politics. However, Dickson, from all arrangements, from what I've gathered, will give Peter Obi his presidential tickets. And Peter Obi, in return, is going to pick Kwankwaso as his running mate. And the two of them would have to go and slug it out with Atiku and Tinubu. So Dickson add this to, okay, which one should we hear first? Peter Obi and, okay, no, Dickson. He's got this to say after receiving them. Sorry, the video is a bit kind of like a loud and, chaotic a bit. I promise that you are still going to hear what they are saying. Watch this.
Stop that thing now. Never do you. Who be this one now? Yeah. Easy now, easy.
Congregation is all.
Guy, you read this one now.
Good evening to you all, and in particular, Your Excellencies.
Blessing.
These guys will take this picture.
Your camera.
And Rabiu Kwankwaso. The national chairman of our great party, the Nigeria Democratic Congress. NDC. Let me recognize all members of the
Come on, stop this now. It's not nice.
and once a member of the National Assembly always one.
Sorry.
All members of the National Working Committee, and all leaders of our party, leaders of Nigeria gathered here, women and youth of
You raise the thing up now. Raise the thing up,
ladies and gentlemen of the press.
Maybe you raise this thing up.
Here, when we are gathered, we chant the slogan of our party. Very special.
Bros, shift this your chair, mate.
A party of those who understand service. So when I say NDC, you say NDC, and you don't just chant it, you raise your fingers in victory. NDC, NDC, NDC. Service for Nigeria. Service for Nigeria! Service for Nigeria! Service for the Your Excellencies, two of you and all members of your entourage, as you can see, even though you didn't want to come with a crowd here in the dream and vision of this party. On behalf of the NDC and to my humble home, I want to, on behalf of all of us in the NDC family, and our pleasure today that you are leading Nigeria to invest your time. Let us hear what, please. In this party. We are grateful in receiving you, and we know, and we trust and believe. We know what you are bringing on board. The Nigerian people know what you are bringing on board to the NDC. There will be time enough for campaigns. There will be time enough when we unfold the political processes within the party. But you know, there is a saying in our place that if you have a beautiful daughter and you have several of them, you see a very handsome, good looking, and good looking doesn't feed a daughter. So you will also be interested in waiting there the pocket. By the time you like that suitor, my people say you don't even wait for the bride price to. I would like to first everything, so many things.
I said the guy was just too happy. It's like catching a big fish. You know, a lot of people believe that all the noise about ADC is actually going to die down in the next few days, because the only kind of light within that group was Obi. And if those who put the group together couldn't see it, well, maybe they just wouldn't miss it too when it is gone. But you see, these coming days and weeks, it's going to be interesting. Now, we have on record what Peter Obi also told them. Why is he joining NDC and leaving ADC within the same day? Here is what he said.
All and our Savior. You can see that what we did by, when I say let the woman speak, shows that this party will support affirmative action. Yes, sir. Because it's too long when 50% of our population are not participating in our production. Because the party will definitely move the country from consumption to production. Nigeria will be okay. We thank.
Okay, it's knockout.
Kwankwaso sincerely, and I join him to thank the leader for one welcome. And I assure him that we are coming here to be part of peaceful part of the family that work hard to build a united, secure, prosperous Nigeria that work for everybody. So the leader at the forefront of education, at the forefront of providing primary health care, at the forefront of putting people out of poverty, because we want to build a country where a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing it. So the government of today, they put up crisis upon crisis, which led to litigations and everything in our party that made us to abandon those parties and move to join another party, while thinking that we are busy with the judiciary, please end cases in party, so we can face the job of building a new Nigeria that is possible.
Yeah.
So we can take the job of caring where our country is deteriorating today. Just yesterday, I saw a third world developing country, Bangladesh, order for the highest order of plane, 14 new planes at $3.7 billion. Our country has no national currency. So we want to start building. Please, let there be no litigation. Party members, please don't go to court. We want to build a party. We are not lawyers. Those of us who are lawyers, we want it to be good practitioners. What we want is a party. We will lock doors, we'll be welcomed, things will work well for this party. Amen. Women and children will be proud of this party. Amen. These children will, this party will form government that will rescue Nigeria. Form government that will ensure that Nigerians can live in Nigeria without living in fear. Ensure that a mother will no longer cry for a child that left money for school and will not return. Yeah. That a mother will not cry for a child that went to work or went to farm and will not return. Yeah. That our farmers will go back to farm. Yeah. That will ensure that Nigerians no longer in their millions go to all.
Get killed. So Peter Obi in ADC has now charted a new trajectory for their 2027 charade. There are those who believe that this singular move that collapsed the coalition has further given Tinubu an edge, which means divided opposition, divided votes is it's an advantage for the incumbent. But some of you have really forgotten. I'll keep reminding you because this is almost like what happened in 2023. If I want to kind of like remind you, they were ruled out. They were noisemakers. Social media, this and that. There is no polling unit on social media. There's no polling booth on, all those kind of phrases that people were using on them at the time. They had no structure, although it affected them though, right? But 7 months to elections, when these young people were all over the social media, not just social media, they were all over the town, organizing rallies, calling on PDP to give their ticket to Peter Obi and leave the rest for them. At the time, they were called entitled. A strong leader must be able to stay and fight. There are people of that thought too. Like, why would you leave the party? You should stay there and fight there. If you can't fight within that party, just a small group of people, how are you sure that they won't be able to kind of like intimidate you or bully you when it comes to terrorism or when it comes to this imperialist and all of that stuff? So people are saying things. But disobedient were very adamant. They said, give us Obi, or anywhere he goes is their party, the blah, the blah. They had no governor. They had no lawmakers, senators, or reps, or anything at all. They had not even a councillor. The obscure Labour Party at the time, they usually play sort of like a local politics where some people use as their SPV. If you don't get a seat or a ticket at PDP or APC, you go to all these mushroom parties. And you can use them if you're popular enough, right, to still get yourself inside the hall. But the moment Obi and the obedient joined, their fortune changed overnight. They became like the cynosure of all eyes. But some were still taking them for a joke. The corruption within that group of people was so much that the presence of the obedient within that group nullified this history of a career catch-up politicians in Labour Party. And it spurred them to national limelight. They were challenging the top seats in the country. It was massive. They called it obedient wave. By the time the wave was over, the establishment shook to its foundation. And more reason why a lot of those who benefited from that fraud in 2023 have become so obsessed with this Peter Obi and his obedience that came supposedly distant third. Now they are back on the road again. And I bet you, so many of you who are filled with this same kind of like ego, arrogance, and the typical Nigerian DNA of, you don't understand, all of you professional analyzers, they have started again, and at present, right, Tinubu is now the president, which means he now has all this power. And so many of you probably are about to witness something you've never witnessed before. And on Maiyegun's diary, Politico, I can keep the record. And that's why we are here, right? So right there and then, they gave them their membership cards. Rabiu Kwankwaso, they have now become almost like inseparable twins, the Siamese twins, politically, which wasn't so 4 or 3 years ago. So yeah, 4 years ago. But here.
supported by our leader. Being guided by the leader of the party. That's how we do it. I'm national chairman, but I'm under the tutelage of the leader of this party. And we don't do anything until it is commanded. First and foremost, we want to present to Your Excellency, Distinguished Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso. This is your NDC membership card. On the other hand, ably supported by our leader, we present to the in-law that have already been accepted in the family the membership card of the NDC. As to the in-law that have already been accepted the membership card of the NDC.
I have already seen people say they will start having their own litigation very, very soon. NDC, just to remind you, NDC is a creation of courts. They applied to be registered as a political party. They meet all of the criteria, okay, all the requirements to register as political party. INEC attended the usual kind of inspection and all that of their activities before they will be considered. But at the end of the day, the INEC just said no. Rufai said they attempted to register 3 political parties, and INEC rejected all of them. And that is why they went for the option B. The option B was to look for an existing party, discuss with the executive of the party, see how they could take over the party, and then implement their coalition agenda. So what they didn't do was to go to court. Seriake Dickson went to court to challenge that INEC decision. And the court ruled that INEC must register them. Now, I don't know if that was Supreme Court. I'm saying this now because these are just some little things that could build into bigger thing tomorrow. And my expectation about their coalition initially, right, was that they will become so strong by pulling their resources together, their supporters, and even picket the National Assembly. For example, when this drama of electoral bill was being discussed, and all of the flaws inside that electoral laws that ordinarily has made it almost like a joke, your 2027 election, even before you even started it anyway. So it's almost a joke. So I expected the coalition of opposition to have used their massive big names and all this stuff, right, to shake down the National Assembly, shake all of them down and make them realize the danger of their action. Let them realize what they are about to plunge the country into, and then that you are actually willing and ready to go that road with them. But they didn't, because it's now obvious the reason why it didn't happen was because they couldn't really find a common ground among themselves. And that is why most of their reactions are always so late. And those of us who are like observers, watching from, from the trenches, looking at them from far away, a lot of us can see most of their missteps and their late kind of response to problems, which further gave them out that they are not really coordinated. So the tempo that the momentum took around, September, October, November, then December, that momentum started dying out in January, February, simply because of this same thing that finally kind of like separated them to make Obi and others. So if the NDC which is now the Obedient and the Kwankwanso's party and the others, if they want to reciprocate or repeat what they did in 2023 and even more, especially now that they are saying that, they won't allow any rigging. So that takes me back to the issue of number out of that coalition issue, right? Where you said, oh, they were together, but they are like toothless. Now they are not together. So could the combination of this Obi and Kwankwanso, the North and the South in this context, be enough to push for that kind of changes that people say can be done within a day or two about this fake electoral act? Because everything else, all these things they are doing right now, if you take your time to open that electoral act and read it, pay attention to every detail, then you realize that these guys who wants to mobilize millions of people to participate in an election that they assure them that they will do everything to protect their votes, they can't really do that. They want to, or promising, they actually read the electoral act to understand what traps they have put in place that will protect any rigging that happens in 2027. So yeah, I don't know if they would have the number or they are just going to go into it like that, the typical Nigeria way, and then hope that maybe the court will do something later. And we all know nothing is going to happen. No? Right. The lady that defeated Fintiri in Adamawa, her name is Benani. You remember her? That declared herself the winner of Adamawa election in 2023. Only for the guy that announced her as the winner without any results or wherever, right? To be arrested for a crime of, I don't know. So that Benani used to be Atiku's kind of like a political goddaughter. He's a strong political, kind of like political figure in Adamawa State. He wants to be Adamawa governor. And somehow, since they started this ADC and she joined, she has been battling with Babashir Lawal, the grass cutter, who want to be in charge of the executive of the state. It's been part of the coalition at the national level. Benani wanted the state executive of the party handed to her in a way that she could actually really then work for her own governorship days. All of that didn't work out. So she walked away from this ADC. She was with Dickson too in this their NDC. Watch this.
Nigerian Democratic Congress membership card by the powers are derived from NET as the national chairman of the party and being supported by the national leader in this event. We jointly present to you a number to be on the card will be declared by my leader. That is usually his responsibility. I know that there will be a special number of it for you, but that is beyond my powers to do this. You are welcome.
Can we put those beautiful hands together? We can do that.
So, for recognition, for the purposes of recognition, our trademark card is here. We always like to do this one to people because put your hand together. Because there are so many politicians in this country now. You can't lead them to where they belong. They are with you in the morning, you think that they are with you. In the evening, they are somewhere else. By the time they are with you, they are with one thing. Just as some Christians or people that will share the Christians, but we don't want to carry Bible, keep their card first, they let them not know me. We don't do like that here. When we stand out, we stand out. It is on this note I want to hand over the flag of our party to our national leader, who alone has the responsibility to do what is needful as his political inspiration shall lead him always and ever. And so, present it on our behalf. As our chairman. This is a symbol of power. This is a symbol of control and leadership. We are giving it to you that go and lead NDC in Adamawa State. And you know, political leadership must culminate into election victory. Political leadership that does not culminate into the election victory is fake. And we believe and trust in you that by this power we are given to you, you will go and lead Adamawa in all the elections when the time comes. House of Assembly elections, House of Reps elections, senatorial elections, and the gubernatorial election itself. I am national chairman here. I will be reporting to our national leader on behalf of the National Working Committee that in Adamawa, Binani and our team, Binani and the entire NDC family, has won so number of House of Assembly members, not so number, all the House of Assembly have won all.
Now their turn, oh, that's Nigeria politics, right? That's their turn. Where's my microphone? So that's their turn. And one guy who kept reminding the ruling party of how dangerous, politically dangerous Peter Obi will be is Peter Fauleshe, Babaladiye of Ekiti. Now, Fauleshe, just a few months after they swear for Tinubu in 2023, he said somebody they should watch out for is Peter Obi is going to be a bigger problem politically for the entire establishment. And if he was, Kolu, he will find every means to bring Peter Obi closer to himself. That's what Fauleshe said. This was way back. Recently, he also came out, he said many other things, by the way, about to be this or be that when it comes to this coalition stuff, okay? But the recent one was when he said, yeah, people can deny it, people can downplay it, but the thing is this, all this noise about ADC is simply because this Obian is obedient a part of it. The moment they walk away, the moment they walk out of the door, ADC will just become just like any other ordinary, you know what I mean? But Atiku is still there. He said, yeah, they'll become just like any ordinary party that nobody will consider as any real threat. Obi said they are doing everything to stop him from being on the ballot. So what's going on? Here, Fauleshe.
Are we saying ADC is not dominant? Recently, Obi moved there. And I've said it, Obi is the only life in ADC.
There are other people there. Atiku is there.
Excuse me.
Amechi is there.
I never said they are not human beings there. I'm saying they are largely spent forces. Obi is, let Obi don't go to ADC. Let Obi go to another party. Let's say Obi is in Accord. Accord will become, excuse me, I'm saying it to be, Obi is the only traction. Obi is the only meaning. Obi is the only factor. Obi is the only person in ADC that matters. And if Obi had not gone to ADC and has gone, when Obi went to Labour that would never known became won elections to House of Reps, I'm not saying Obi will win this election. I'm not saying Obi will not win this election, but I'm telling you, even if they don't field Obi, if ADC fails to feed Obi, their case will be worse than they are coming together. Are we saying it?
You get them? So Fauleshe continued to preach in that sense, and some people said it's actually a trick. I mean, politics is where they go. And you know, in politics, right, from my own experience, a lot of people actually think they know it when they don't know Jack. Yeah, Nigeria politics. I've seen people beat their chest about something simply because they were privy to some certain information that they don't even have a full idea of the whole context or something, right? So they said that this is kind of like a reverse psychology. They wanted ADC to use Obi because somehow Tinubu believed that Obi, they cannot sell Obi in northern Nigeria because the propaganda they are going to use is just right there. One, they will push this tribal hatred, okay? He's Igbo. You don't trust Igbo, this, the blah, the blah. So they want to use that. And also, they want to use this term of office that the northern Nigeria should just wait for extra 4 years and Tinubu will be done. Rather than go with Toby, they are promised to spend 4 years. And what if he decides to spend 8 years? So would the northern Nigeria now wait for 12 years? These two kind of campaign jingle would be like the priority of their campaign against Toby. So they wanted ADC to field him. And I figured out that that theory was the Atiku theory, because they were saying, listen, northern Nigeria will not vote Obi, but yeah, if Obi want to be president, he can just use Atiku, okay? Let the obedient support Atiku, okay? When Atiku become president and spend his 8 years, yeah? So when Atiku become 88 years, he would then hand over to Obi. So Obi would now have an easy right to become president. And some people are now saying that, are you that kind of like, are you that stupid? Have you ever seen any vice president in Nigeria, right, that succeeded their own president after their tenure? Well, except they die. Jonathan. Do you get me now? Like, how could you have somebody like Peter Obi with all this youthfulness, this idea, the blah, the blah, the blah, and you want him to go and be a spare tire to an old man, 80 years old man? Anyway, and in the end, we are about to witness something that is likely going to change the course of this Nigeria history. I'm saying it. I don't know how it's going to go. Even Fauleche said he's not saying he's going to win. He's also not saying that he's not going to win. But if he moves, he's the only guy who has the traction. And a traction that they believe that the money can't buy. So how is it going to be? Because in ADC right now, Rotifmi Amechi is now the only southern aspirant in ADC. You have Atiku and you have Ayatu Din. So they are both from northern Nigeria. So Amechi right now is yet to make his own position, no other than he's staying in ADC and he is the qualified candidate. He was in Lagos yesterday doing what they call the, what do you call that thing again? Consultation at the outreach. So Amechi speaking in Lagos yesterday.
No matter how much obedience happy, no matter what they say, they should please compare his government with my own. Yes, sir. If he's better, please choose him. If P2B is better than me when he was a governor, choose P2B as governor. I mean, choose him as our presidential aspirant. But if I'm better than him as governor, please choose me because I will do better. Again, among the four of us contestants, I appear to be the only person who has served as a minister, right? And I've touched your lives. I did the Lagos Ibadan. I did Lagos Ibadan anyway. That is one testimony all of you can say. If you have gone to Ibadan before or gone to Abuja using the railway, direct from the seaport, nobody forced me. No president begged me. I just chose to do Lagos to Ibadan. I was to continue from Ibadan to Abuja, Abuja to Kano. In fact, I have awarded Kano to Kaduna. The one we are trying to award was Ibadan to Abuja, passing through Ilorin, so that I can have a seamless travel from Apapa Seaport to Kano. The reason why I did it, people say, well, why? Oh, you are not lucky. No, it's not. It's not true. I sat down in my office. I checked the data. The data showed me that the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri rail line moves 11 million tons of cargo per year. The Lagos-Kano rail line moves 30 million tons of cargo. Which one will you choose? But more than one here, oh, he's an Hausa man, he doesn't want to listen. He just I chose for Nigeria. I decided to do the 30 million tons of cargo. But I still did something by starting the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri. We stopped at Aba before I left. I ordered the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri rail line. I ordered it. I ordered and completed the Itabewari. Itabewari has been there for 34 years, abandoned. It took me 6 months. 6 months to clean it up, 6 months to clean it and get it running. Don't forget, I think we are moving from gossip to reality. So I've left gossip a long time. Now I'm facing reality. And the reality which will dovetail to issues is that I'm the only Nigerian, I repeat it, the only Nigerian that has fought in government, that has fought in security and was successful. So what are the parameters? The first thing I did was I discovered that insecurity is as a result of poverty. I began to award contracts to Nigerians who live in River State. You must spend the money in River State. You must employ River people. So when you create employment, you deny the man. He will not be going to take the risk of shooting people to collect their money or kidnapping people because there is an alternative. Where there is no alternative, there will be insecurity. Please tell Mr. President, the reason why there is insecurity is that there is no alternative to crime. If you like, give guns everywhere. Once you don't create an economy that produces employment and goods and services, then people must commit crime. Same thing applies to the public. If your people are not working, the governor becomes the work, right? Even in Port Harcourt, we had to generate a total of 750 megawatts. 750 megawatts. And we applied to federal government. Federal government, we have 750 megawatts we have generated, built with gas cylinders. But we can't distribute them because distribution is in the federal government, is a federal government responsibility. I didn't say build for us. Give me permission to build the distribution network. Federal government refused. That's why if you go to River State now, you will see 750 megawatts doing nothing. If I had gotten that permission that time, by now, we would have been the first state to have 24-hour power supply. It's there, 715. When I did the power audit before I started building, the company from Britain told me River State required only 450 megawatts. And so every year you add 50, every year you add 50. So we already done 715, for which I think the total contributed about 300 to 400 megawatts. I did the rest. So I know the problems, and by God's grace, I think I know the solutions. But the problem I have is I don't have the power. You have the power. Only you can give it. The next thing I did as governor was education. The Yorubas are very proud people because Awolowo gave you what? And Nigerians respect you for that. So when I became governor of River State, I declared free education. Free education is not what we governors do now. I didn't do that one. That one, you won't see a desk. Classrooms are empty. Children sit on the floor. No teachers, no. Simple. I built brand new primary schools. Ask anybody from River State. One per village. One per. In fact, there are some villages where there are no people. I say build it. They will have children in the future and they will go there. When I finished building the primary school, the next question was what would you do with people? I declared free education. Bring your children. Don't wear them. Bring them naked. Ask River people. We sold uniforms for them. All of them. We sold uniforms for them. We bought books for them. Don't buy books. Reason, parents became they fell under stress as a result of looking for money for school fees. Every January now, people will call you on the phone, "Okay, help me now for school fees." We took that bill away from them by getting their children to primary and secondary schools free of charge. Now, when we build these primary schools, we furnished those primary schools, including computers. There were computer classes. There were music halls. No more staying outside to do what they call the morning devotion. We had the hall in each school for morning devotion. We had a principal's office and teacher's offices in that primary school. And we had a clinic. If a child falls sick, there's a nurse to take care of the child until school closes before the parents can come and pick the child. And we opened admission for everybody. Parents began to take their children from private schools to public schools because we employed 13,200 teachers. When we did that, people thought we couldn't pay. That increased our wage bill to 9 billion naira, and I was paying. The teachers are there in River State. You can ask them. In fact, what I take pride in when I come out at an airport and somebody, like a lady, touched me when I was going to Port Harcourt last week. Morning, sir. I said, morning. How are you? Say, fine, thank you, sir. Sir, you employed me in UST. I said, not me, my government. Yes, your government. When your government was government, I didn't know you. I didn't know anybody. I applied like every other person. I passed this thing and I was taken. Not like now. Now you have governor's list, minister's list, wife of governor, wife of president, wife of everybody. At the time I was governor, no list. In fact, I nearly arrested somebody who went and printed a complimentary card for my mother of the governor. I asked my mother, apart from pidgin English, what else do you speak?
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporompium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. And it was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia neonantorum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm. Today, we as a people are stating, voxe populi, voxe Dei.
Alhamdulillah.
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 Alhamdulillah. Rabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillah.
You are me. So here is the thing. When the obedient were saying Peter Obi or nothing, that triggered a lot of the articulators, the articulated moguls, the SPV boys. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Dare you say Obi or nothing? The most it's going to get in this arrangement is going to be vice president. It should just be vice president to Atiku. Obi or nothing. And then they kind of like tease themselves, cry more. Oh yeah, you done the cry since yesterday. Obi or nothing. Obi or nothing. Atiku can go and pick Mikel Obi or Kenneth Okonkwo. Or you can even have Atiku Dele, which is Dele Momodu. You know, people are like teasing themselves that no, Obi would not be vice. Obi would not be vice. Then others were like, what about Amici? Atiku could use Amici. So right now, if Atiku and the ADC leaders want to do consensus, and Atiku is the candidate, Amici may accept to be his vice. Nobody should, by any means, even cry that Peter Obi left their ADC. Especially, I'm actually speaking like of their conversations now, not me. So they are like always throwing it back and forth at each other or one another. So if Obi is not going to accept to be vice to Atiku, then he can go. And then Obi left. And right now, the Articulutas, the Ronukus, including Bayo Onofonuga, they are currently saying Obi is just a desperate politician. I don't know what you think, by the way, but to the obedient, rejecting to be or play a second fiddle to a very old man, is not desperation. It is called self-preservation. I mean, they said there's no sainthood in politics. You have the good, the bad, and even the ugly. So if Obi is their good guy, they could only look away from the other bad guys that are part of this whole group if they will be honorable enough to respect him as the only reason why they are getting the attention they are getting right now, especially from the younger people. And anything short of that, you can call it whatever you want to call it. So the obedient, they do not have any political party. And don't try to underrate them. You may be doing so at your own peril. I am yet to possibly see them in action. I mean, where they have this strong belief that some people are trying to sabotage the election or sabotage Peter Obi with evidence and then show their strength to warn the system that don't try it, kind of. They have already said that their 2027 election will not be rigged. As much as the obvious rigging pattern and the plan are being like in public already, are in public, to them, you see all of that don't matter. If Peter Obi make it to the ballot, right, even the system, right, would have more than they can handle. Again, everybody is trying to make their own, pump themselves ready to show the establishment that what they witnessed in 2023 may actually be a child's play. And as some have said, even if they won't be able to be declared winner, and Tinubu is not going to go down easily, let's say they shock them and they decided to manipulate the entire thing and they lose control of everybody. So people like us who have been putting our money on that Nigeria will not remain one Nigeria because you and I, or because you want Nigeria to remain one. Nigeria is not going to break up because people like me want a peaceful renegotiation or possible peaceful breakup of this contraption. None of that would happen because we want that Nigeria will remain one. Yeah, whether pseudo or fake or whatever. It will remain one based on the actions and inactions of these guys in power. And Nigeria will break up again, not because I want it or because you don't want it. It will break up because of the actions and inactions of these guys. One of the easiest ways that you can actually have a revolution in a country is disputed election. So I don't know what is going to be in stock. I mean, it may be too early, right? Since we have seen many hands of the people in power. We have seen their underhand dealings. And to some extent, a lot of people believe that they are behind all of the problems that these opposition parties are facing. Some said they are likely going to overplay their hand. Others said, well, don't delude yourself. Call who has all these things under control. And yes, the closer to the day of the election, the clearer it is likely going to be. Now, we don't know what they know, and we are not Nostradamus, right? They can easily just say, oh, that's what's going to happen. But with the snippet, crumbs of all these happenings here and there, those ones you pay attention to, those ones you probably ignored, and others don't, they will all culminate and contribute to where this is headed. How is the 2027 going to pan out? It is taking the shape as we speak. Dickson was challenged earlier after his political party was finally granted the right to be registered. And he was accused of, oh, you remember you used to be Tinubu's kind of like a pally. Here is his reaction. Some of these things are likely going to start coming up again. How this NDC self, na Tinubu get on, how this and that, and the possibility of any litigation happening again. And if there is litigation in the next couple of days, then that will automatically tell us that indeed the ruling party in Nigeria do not want any real opposition. There's also something in the offing. They said Balana Few, the guy that initiated this court case that threatened and kind of like pushed everyone almost out of the same coalition now, they said his family members are meeting and they are planning to have him openly withdraw his court case against ADC. I'm giving you all these snippets, so they are not like part of the story, right? Okay. So that simply means now that Peter Obi has left ADC, there may be all withdrawal of court cases this week. But if NDC start picking up court cases, then we are likely going to have an idea, because it's going to be a pattern, right? Then it's going to be a pattern. Here was Dickson a few weeks back.
Something like Southeast Petro saying, you were linked to Tinubu, you were an associate of Tinubu in AD, and you said you were state chairman. I think you also became an auditor of the party.
No, I became national legal advisor.
Okay, sorry, national legal advisor. So there's this feeling somehow that you going alone is a disservice to the opposition,
well,
and you're playing into the
I'm used to
hands of the APC.
I'm used to this kind of bully tactics, okay? And you will see in my political career that I'm not someone who is swayed by propaganda and blackmail like this. No one has opposed the policy and administration of President Tinubu more than me, okay? I've not had anything to do with the APC. Since ADC you are talking about is formed by Tinubu's associates who work together to push the PDP out. And those are the people that are opposition leaders. And you see what I'm doing in the Senate, okay? So that's propaganda. Cheap propaganda should be destroyed. And don't use your platform to disseminate that kind of wild propaganda. You are entitled, or people are entitled to their preferences. They want to see someone emerge presidential candidate of ADC and feel that if I were in ADC, I could give support to that. That is bullying. They're entitled to their views. I'm entitled to mine, okay? And no one can blackmail or bully me or any other Nigerian to belong to a party or form a party or take one view or the other. That's blackmail, and we don't do that. Democracy means you have the right and the freedom to be in the ADC, to be in the APC as they were, okay? To be in the Labour Party as they were. And I, Henry Seriake Dickson, and the thousands of Nigerians who are registering in the NDC, which is just 4 weeks old, also have a right to be in the NDC, field and support candidates of our choice, from assembly to the presidency. Do you understand? And we have no duty or obligation to belong to the ADC or to be available to support any presidential aspirant that people support. Nigerians are free to vote, and the votes will be counted at the same time. All we're interested in is, look, I'm a Democrat. Acknowledge your right to do what you do. Decide on a party you want to belong to or support. Decide on a candidate you want to support. And don't blackmail somebody else who does not agree with you. At least even if you don't agree in this game, you acknowledge that the person has a democratic right, constitutional right, to disagree.
Clear.
Yes. So
clear. And you were quite right. We know your antecedents in the Senate, yes. Prompting former President Jonathan to hail you for standing up and speaking out.
Former President Jonathan is my boss.
Yeah, in the Senate. And I saw that time he commended you for
and a lot of Nigerians,
being that lonely voice in the Senate.
A lot of Nigerians do. Most of the people who say they are ADC or opposition, they are the people in bed with the present administration, I have not been. I've not been since my 80 days. Okay? I've been in PDP loyally. They were in ACN. I wasn't in ACN. They were in AC. I wasn't there. In PDP, in APC, I'm not there. And I wouldn't be. And I saw the APC. I saw the NDC. But decided to galvanize Nigerians who think alike to start. And so all that blackmail and propaganda would now go. You know, I mentioned how this thing starts. Listen to what Mahatma Gandhi is reported to have said. That first, they will ignore you when you are starting a movement. First, they will ignore you. Then, they will laugh at you. Then, they will attack you. And he says, when that happens, then you win. The NDC is a new party. I don't know how many Nigerians, politicians of my generation, who are not supported by their state governments. I put everybody in my seat, from the governor down to everybody. Mentored them for years, supported them, took care of them, fought for them, all of them. They decided to go to APC, and I decided not to go. That should tell you about.
So that's how he started NDC, right? So he's not associated with Kolu, okay? So the other guy mentioned in their, in their plan is Bala Mohammed. Obi has met with him a couple of times. The recent one was when he met with him last week. Yes, this immediate past week. And they said he was there to seek his support. And indeed, many felt like maybe Bala Mohammed, who was in PDP, would then possibly be going to the ADC or maybe following Obi. No, that's not to happen. So yesterday, Bala Mohammed himself picked up the member and his own guys in Bauchi State. They went a separate path. They picked up the APM, the Cassava Party. This NDC, that one is like, you do like this, NDC. So they have this APM, right? Those ones are like cassava tuber, that cassava stuff, right? So that's their own logo. And that is where Bala went. I don't know, maybe that's just a stopover. So where he is still going, no idea. But here was Bala yesterday.
What qualifies you to be a member of the party in your membership card? Your Excellency, I would also want to change your cap to APM cap. I confer you with this. Congratulations. And APM has a logo, and our logo is Rogo, cassava. And why we chose cassava, every tribe, every language, every community, every part of Nigeria grow cassava. They eat cassava. You have multiple of foods that you can take from cassava, from gari, cassava flour, alubo, akpu, bread, so many other things, and ethanol. Cassava.
Assalamu alaikum. So APM, a lot of them are also crossing to like other funny parties. And somehow, those of us who thought that Kolu's kind of strategy is going to backfire if his strategy is to lead all of his political opponents into a single camp. But somehow, we can't say it's Tinubu's strategy anymore. because those who plan to come to, those who came together with the promise of them coming together because of Nigerians, not because of their ambition. They even publicly told us that the ambition is not the driver of why they are part of the coalition. So everybody has put that aside. They are going to fight for Nigeria, the blah, the blah. But that happened, or that ended up being a lie. Okay. So how this is now playing out changed everything. And this week seems to be like a pregnant with a lot of expectations too. So we don't know how that is going to also play out now that they are officially joined the NDC in this sense. Okay. Also, there is part of this, the electoral act that says you can't be a member of you can't be a member of two political parties at a time. So there are those who are already pointing out the fact that Obi and others who registered in ADC, that they should do everything to get themselves deregistered before somebody pick that up and decide to go to court again. And since Nigerian court and judges are always like, until they make those pronouncements, you never even sometimes know that they are in court. So somebody may pick that up and say they should disqualify him in the middle of campaign. All of these kind of shortcomings and others, people are pointing them out. I don't know how many they are. And yeah. So on YouTube, we are almost 1,000 of us, by the way. However, if you are still there and you haven't really liked this broadcast, do you mind taking a moment? Just 1 sec. Yeah, leave the comment section and then go under the video. You're going to see their thumb there, right? Just click it, like the broadcast. In all of this, Kalu left Nigeria today. Yes, he is billed to be away from Nigeria for the next 2 weeks. We don't know where he's going first. Maybe it's Rwanda or Kenya or France. Some said that he left for France and then he's going to go to Kenya and then he's also going to go to Rwanda for some international engagements. So this was him leaving Abuja this evening. So Kalu is off to France, and then it's going to go to Kenya and the other place, right? Also, when they return, that is when they are going to do the National Convention of APC. And that is where Kalu is going to be endorsed as the consensus candidate for APC. Yeah, and they will declare your 2027 election race open. How that is going to also play out is also yet to be seen. I have opened the line. Sorry. Because you know something, right? If I start taking that calls as usual, most of these other piece of the broadcast that I kind of like added, right? I may not be able to. So I'm going to keep the line open now, and you can still very much call in. Meanwhile, in Oyo State, where the issue of consensus or no consensus is already creating its own ruckus. There's a guy, Sharafa Ali or something, who happened to be a senator representing a part of Oyo State as we speak, of APC, said is the consensus candidate endorsed by Kolu. Then the Olokunkun of Okunkun land, the minister of darkness, is no longer your minister anyway. So Adebayo Penkelemes, the Olokunkun of Okunkun land, the former minister of darkness, said no, that's not what happened. He is the consensus candidate. Okay, and the Olubadan cannot choose the next candidate of APC. Meanwhile, the Olubadan right now, Ladoja, is said to be in bed, and that Sharafa Ali also will be his candidate. Someone they said Tinubu has kind of like endorsed. Then what happened to Olokunkun of Okunkun land? Okunkun Birimu of Okunkun land. I think this one is in Yoruba. I'm gonna take calls after this, okay? Sorry, I can see some of these calls are already like but let's watch this.
That's in 1999. Top NDC. Emeji, the progressive, not in Lewa Kulu Joba. Then at the 2003 and 2019. 2003. Palowandia. Ati. Ebi Odako yo. Ebi Odako. 2019. APC ní 2019 tí mo jáde àbí tẹ́ ṣe gbé mi lọ́wọ́ dáadáa ni tẹ́ fi ọ̀dà pọ̀ mí nígbà tá a ṣe federal election sẹ́yìntàn mélòó la ní méjì nínú mẹ́ta àbí ọ̀gá wa nìkan ní wọlé gbà yẹn Ajímọ̀bí house of rep mélòó la ní mẹ́wàá nínú mẹ́rìnlá tá a bá fi bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ṣe governorship election Charlie win. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n sọ pé láyé progressive kò gbọdọ̀ win. Kí ló ṣe? Wọ́n ṣe coalition àbí ṣèyí fún PDP àbí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ọba olóyè kí ló bá wà? Ẹ̀yin ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Fún Stanley Labour Party. Náà lẹ́yìn ADC Bọ́lájí Ayọ̀rìndé SDP ẹnìkan wá síwájú wọn okùn ọkọ̀ tá ní ìlú òṣọ́fẹ́ o náà wọ́n fi àjẹ́ wá gbọ́ fìdájẹ́ wá àwọn ológun adébítà wọ̀ sí àwọn ológun adébítà wà báyìí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sínú ẹgbẹ́ wa àwọn náà yóò tó wá ó fà á mọ́ ọmọ òye ìyá òní jẹ́ ní ọ̀rẹ́ bàbá yìí progressive ẹ̀rí tí yẹ ọ́ akọ ìyá a máa kọ kò lè ṣeé ṣe ẹjọ́ wọn máa gbọ́ kò lè ṣeé ṣe gbangba làwọn ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò lè ṣeé ṣe tí ìdíyẹ bá ń ṣe tó bá dá lójú kò ní lọ ṣe ní kọ̀rọ̀ kò ní ṣe kọ̀rọ̀ kéèyàn máa ń consensus fún ebi ní ẹgbẹ́ APC. Kò lè ṣeé ṣe o APC ẹgbẹ́ ńlá ni alátọ́jú ọgbà ní ìkìlọ̀ ní pé 31st of March ni o ìwọ́n lọ ṣiṣẹ́ mo travel gbà yẹn mo ní kí ẹ tó yọ̀ mí ṣiṣẹ́ kí n tó fìwé lẹ̀ á ṣàlọ́ wo ara wa lójúkojú ó tí mo ṣe dìlé ẹ̀ nìyẹn pé kí n fi ààyè lẹ̀ láti rí wọn àwọn náà tó fààyè lẹ̀ láti pé ṣàkọ̀tún ṣàkòsì láti Ọ̀yọ́ state kó bára wọn sọ̀rọ̀ tó dà tẹ́lẹ̀ bá fi rí wọn wọ́n mọ tí wọ́n sọ fún mi ó tó jẹ́ kí n rí wọn ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá nìyẹn gbogbo àwọn kò lọ resign ló lágbára Ọlọ́run bá mọ̀ pé egungun tó bá kọjú ìwọ ló máa wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo wá wọlé tọ̀ wọ́n àṣà lè parọ́ mọ́ president ní gbangba àbí o possible president country wọ́n gbọ́ wọ́n ní pé Báyọ̀ àsìkò ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àjọ lájọsọ ọ̀rọ̀ náà wọ́n ní pé àtijọ́ wà lórí ìkíní ìtì pẹ́ is a long ambition of yours bí mo ṣe fẹ́ràn ẹ tó pé kò wà láàárín mi ò ní dá ẹ dúró lọ́ọ́ fìwé lẹ̀ kó lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ immediately wọ́n gbára Ọlọ́run tó sọ fún mi nìyẹn. wọ́n ní pé àwọn máa wò ó láti pé èèyàn kan méjì mẹ́ta tí consensus bá ṣe ṣe káwọn ṣe consensus fún mi ṣùgbọ́n tí ò bá possible táwọn kan náà bá fẹ́ dìbò ẹ lọ sórí field ẹ lọ ṣe direct primary wọ́n ṣe sọ fún mi nìyẹn. Ibi tí mo bá ọ̀rọ̀ ní aya rẹ̀ mi dé yìí tó lọ́ọ́ bá rò mí lọ́wọ́ dé yìí tèmi náà dàgbà dé gbàgbé òbẹ̀rẹ̀ 45 ní àbí 44 mo ti gbé fi. ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àwọn lọ́ọ̀yà àwọn agbẹjọ́rò torí wọn pé wọ́n ní ò lè dìbò ara àwọn lọ́ọ̀yà ní SAN Akíntọ́lá wọ́n ní ò lè dìbò ẹsẹ̀ program kan UI àtúpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó wọ́n ní ò lè dìbò tó tí a bá lọ sí wọn fa èdè kankan lẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n jà dànù ni gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbèrò owó eléyìí wà láìtàláì tilétilé wọn ò ní rójú ọkàn wọn ò ní balẹ̀ wọ́n lélẹ̀ wọn ò ní bá Adélábù ìlà tẹ̀lé Adélábù ló sì ṣe gómìnà wa ọkàn wọn ò ní balẹ̀ ó ti bá Adélábù jẹ ó ti bá Adélábù mu bí a bá fún lẹ́yìn yóò pọ̀nlá bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fún lẹ́yìn yóò pọ̀nlá olórí burúkú ẹ̀dá ni o kò láṣeyọrí rí ìmọ̀ ọba àgájẹ́ ni wọ́n bá rí pé gàṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yọ yẹ ni nínú bàtọ́ kò lẹ́yìn nígbà tá a wà ní unity forum nígbà tá a ṣe unity forum nígbà ọ̀dá àríkà àgàrí bọ́sà lọ ni àbárí bá ó ti lọ gbowó ni o ó bá náà lọ sí ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lé lágbára lọ́wọ́ gbogbo owó tí a bá gbà àìsàn wọn èwò wọ́n máa fi gun àìsàn ni wọ́n sórí ire tí ẹ bá tẹ̀ lórí tí ẹ bá lórí tí ẹ bá nínú tí ń rò dáadáa ṣebí jẹrán dé lókun lánàá ẹni tí ò lẹ́nìbọ̀dì lè kú náà ẹ wá lọ gba 200 million ní ọdún sakios ẹlẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ ti ṣe ẹ wá náwó ọ̀rọ̀ sókè àìsàn wọn fi wò ó bá bá láwọn ọ̀gá yóò tó bàjẹ́ lágbára lọ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n ọkà wọn ò ní balẹ̀ mọ́ láyé wọ́n máa lé wọn ò ní balẹ̀ ọlá iná àti iná wọn ò ní bá wọn máa lu wọn ò ní bá láyé.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving. People should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no way to make our own life. I'm highly disappointed.
You won't understand. That video that you watched is the guy who happened to be the immediate past minister of darkness in Nigeria. When APC, Egbekegbe, took over power in Nigeria in 2015, Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatt of electricity. Facts. Nigeria was distributing over 6,000 megawatt of electricity. Facts. 11 years after APC, Egbekegbe took over power in Nigeria. Today, Nigeria is struggling to generate 4,500 megawatt of electricity. In 2026, struggling to distribute 3,000 megawatt of electricity. In 2026, 11 years after APC took over power. Is that progress or retrogression? I'll let you answer that. Adeza, you there?
Yeah, Maiyegun, how are you? Thank you.
I'm very well, Baba. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Brilliant.
Well, like the power is just making mention of. One day I just sat down, I was just calculating Nigeria is 64, 65 years. Let's say if every year they adding 1 megawatt, that's to have about up to 65 megawatts now. That is how they have failed over the years. Let's go to the main issue. Maiyegun will remember about, I think it was Tuesday or Thursday, we discussed about this issue when I was telling you that the parity of the coalition was wrong from the beginning. You understand?
I do.
I was telling you that it's not a coalition, it's a coalition, that it will not last. So that was just last week, because we don't need a prophet to tell you how something is going to end sometime, particularly in Nigeria. That one, by the way, he has moved out of ADC now. But somebody was analyzing something in the afternoon after immediately, because I tried to call you during that afternoon where you are making this week. So someone was analyzing the NDC, the new party, that he is even having a court case. I hope that is not true.
No, that's
he
not
makes
true.
references how it was registered. No, the house was registered and it was through the court. The court mandated them. After that, somebody now took them to court.
It is not true. For the sake of this conversation, okay? Just for the sake of this conversation, that story is not true. And the true story is this. NDC took INEC to court. That's why would they not register them? So the court then ruled. The Federal High Court, and then I think the appeal court as well, ruled that INEC must register them. Now, between that time of that judgment and now, INEC never appealed that judgment. They just went ahead and registered them. So when anybody tells you that maybe a case can just spring up right now, I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying that that particular one is a complete no-no. If INEC suddenly decided to go and appeal now, that would tell everybody that, okay, that's the pattern. Which court is actually going to accept that? Everybody will know something is wrong. But anyway, continue.
Okay. Yeah, and I believe, I know when Obi joined the NDC,
right?
ADC, remember, the ADC, to me, in my observation, they obedient to the deals, because not everybody was even happy for him to join from the onset. People like me, I was not even happy for him to join because of the character they are made up. Understand? And now that he has taken another step now, I pray and I believe that he will be the last party that will give him his dream choice. And what is the way forward? I think now Obedient and the rest and the Kwankwaso is now a way forward, not discussing the problem anymore. Now they should be able to consolidate from the local government to the state government to the federal. Because it's not only for Peter Obi to win as the president. They have to plan for the governorship, House of Reps, because if we don't have a very good number in the House to frustrate his cabinet, yes, they will frustrate him from the local government to the state to the federal. So the way forward for Kwankwaso and Obi is to consolidate, not only looking for waiting for the presidential position. Any election that will be done from now, they should be able to make impact. Understand? Right. To ensure that they fit people, and like part of the lapses they also have in the in 2023 election, though it was very brief before the election, they did not have that consolidation from the grassroots. What only made them say that was the name Obi. Understand? And I know it has get more momentum than before. So my appeal to them, and as we here, as we can support them, who are part of, who believe in him, is to ensure that from the local government to the state to the federal, let's consolidate from the beginning. So when this is done, it will be very difficult for them to ease him out as it was done in 2023. And finally, it's also to ensure now that they have formed a new party now, they should now try to make sure that there is a review of some of those sensitive areas in the electoral guidelines they have produced. They should form and make sure and demand for some of those changes, particularly those who they say that there's a lot of things that somebody read from my former book, They should look at those areas and ensure that some of those things are really corrected. Because no matter what effort they make, if they allow that thing to stand, they will not be able to challenge them. Even if there's anything to be challenged in the court, they will not have the upper hand to do it. So that's just my candid advice to all the parties. They should form a very, they should not be like Obi, articulate and obedient that are fighting each other. Understand? So this one, they should have a very united front and have one dream, one belief, and one motto to drive them to that destination. That is my appeal to all of them. Yeah,
Adeza, thanks a lot for your contribution. I was looking forward to having you this afternoon anyway, but I'm glad you were able to make it for the evening, right? So we are going to have a kind of a busy week.
I'm registering right now from here. I already have their website. I'm ready.
So you are obedient. So you are registering for NDC.
I'm obedient. I'm registering.
All of you who are like obedient, somehow this will be the time that some of you will start coming out of your shell. But yeah, let me take another one. Okay. Take care of yourself, Baba. So that's our days, brethren. Here is another caller on the line.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Ola from Canada.
Sir Ola from Canada. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm happy for Obi that we are taking the right step to they come to.
48 hours ago, this was not the conversation. You remember that you were one of those who were saying he shouldn't have been part of their coalition, the blah, the blah. Now, the story has changed now. What's your take?
Yeah, it's changed. And and I was initially of the opinion that the people should not participate in their election. But now that position has changed. Really? Because if you say people, look, we are dealing with the Nigerian police, especially Tinubu and his guys. They are the most shameless human being I've ever seen on this planet. Even if people don't come out to vote in 2027, they will still, because Tinubu, somebody said that some of these mushroom parties, SDP and co, they are appendages of the APC. Tinubu asking, so even if Peter Obi and co, if they don't participate, Tinubu will go with all these political parties. Then they will report that the opposition participated in the election.
Validate the election. Exactly.
And then they have their members. All these Ronukus, I want to back there. They have, even if they are not up to 5% of the total the total number of registered voters in Nigeria. They will count them and they will declare the result.
Yes.
And then if you don't participate in the election, you will not be able to fight. But now, my advice for Peter Obi and Kwankwaso is this. They should mobilize, start mobilizing their people. And then you let them know that this time around, gentlemen, no deal.
Yeah.
The idea of Peter Obi talking like somebody,
calling them my elder brother, my very good brother.
My elder brother, my brother, I think all those kind of things. This is not time for that now. My brother, this is the time to let them know to let them know that 2027 is different from 2023. We are coming with fire. If you are ready to play
let me ask this, just is a general question right now, and anybody can take it on. I mean, take it up, okay? So, do you think the momentum that Tinubu is not going to find it easy as he was looking before, do you think this time has kind of like validated the general impression that Tinubu won't find it easy? As much as it's looking like he's in control right now, do you think this move really changes that now? That people will begin to feel like Tinubu could actually get beaten or something like that? Do you really feel so?
You can only reach. Yeah, they will reach. Let me tell you, the 2000 the election between that time, we didn't know that time that it will become a nuisance between Akala and Najimobi in Oyo State. There will be a time that you will rig election, you'll be tired of rigging. There are some elections that you will be rigging and you yourself will be tired of rigging.
Because
you will reach to a point. Yeah. The rigging will not be effective.
Okay.
When we have large turnout of people who are determined to send you out of power, you will rig, but you will be tired of rigging. That is the force I want Peter Obi and Kwankwaso to build. Okay. Then they should approach this man. He's one of the enemies of democracy in Nigeria, Abu Salami and this Father Kuka. In a few months' time, they will not be going around with one useless paper called the peace agreement. They will be asking them to in the agreement that they should accept they should sign that they will accept the outcome of this. They should go to them now that before you start bringing all this new paper of agreement, talk to this man, this electoral act. They should change it. They should do the right thing. It is when you play the game by the rule, then if you win, if Tinubu wins,
then
at least wins them on a fair ground, then we congratulate him. But you cannot reach election, you cannot survive the will of the people and want me to now say to congratulate you. Remember when Tinubu and Buhari, when they were coming with their APC, they were giving, they were threatening Jonathan. They were, the force they came with.
Yes.
Now, I want, these people, give them the language they understand. That if you want to go by peaceful election, we will play the game with you. Maybe they want to go the other way, then our boys are on ground.
Then thank you very much.
That will attract. Okay,
because of our time, but maybe you should just add whatever you want to add right now before you go, okay? But just the time. Go.
That's what I want to say. So at least, at least we are getting there now.
So it's a good development. Like somebody like yourself who is obedient too. I want to hear from those who are not obedient, what they think. And I'm talking about unbiased opinion now. This is a time where I want to hear people tell me. So thank you so much, Osala. Have a very good one. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So I want people to call in to actually speak to the matter. You know what I mean? Like, not where people say biases are more. Because I want to hear people's opinion. How do you feel? Do you really think this changes anything? I believe it changes everything. And again, I also still believe that Kalu is still being favored by these whole arrangements. And it is simply because a lot of us strongly believe that the election is already rigged, even though it is still months away. And we have pointed out all of the facts to back that up, except anything changes, right? Do you think momentum like this will be enough to upset whatever plan that Kalu and his gang already put in place? Because they seem to be very confident. Here is another caller. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Maiyegun.
Good evening.
How are you?
Very well, oh. How are you?
I'm fine. How is the family?
Well, we thank God again. Thank you.
Paul calling from Belgium.
Did you say Paul? Because I know it's Belgium.
Yeah, Paul.
Paulo now. You should have said Paulo. That will remind me. It's been a long time I spoke to all of you last. You get what I mean? Oh, but anyway, how you doing tonight, Baba?
I'm doing fine.
Beautiful.
I was listening to your broadcast in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah?
I think what the African Wahala said, I'm in support of it.
Right.
You know? Yes, I'm very much. That's why I've called to just let you know
add
that
more.
I support his opinion.
Do you want to add yours, or you just want to let African Wahala know that you agree in total with all he said, or you want to add yours?
I agree. Yes, they need somebody like Sowore who is non-partisan. He has been consistent, like what he said. That's true. I like the people who tell the truth. So it's the truth. You know, so because I don't see the need of be jumping from one party to the other. If they are actually serious, one, they could have come together to make a consensus and pick one person in order to remove Tinubu. But I don't understand the idea of going to another party now. It's not going to solve the problem.
Right.
It's going to make it
like
worse.
You are dividing the
it's going to make Yes. So I don't, and it's not as if each and every one of them, they have been jumping from one party to the other. You know, so I'm not, you see, when things are happening like this, Maiyegun, if it is a government that is actually wants the country to move forward, they should come up with a very solid law about politicians moving from, make a solid constitution concerning the political, setup. More especially the politicians moving from one party to the other, and there is no consequence and all those kinds of stuff, no punishment. It's just like what people do in motor park. You jump from one when this one motor park is not good. You jump.
They don't have ideology or anything at all.
Yes. So it's just it's total trash what they have as a political party, and the ill fighting in the. So it's in fact a conclusion of the whole thing that is happening in those parties. Everybody is seeking for his own pocket. They are not interested in how Nigeria functions and whatever. So it's just what you can get from each party that you belong to. That's the way I see it. Anyway.
Thank you very much. Let's hear what others have to say too. Like everybody seems to be interested in this conversation right now. Baba, thank you so much.
No problem. Nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care and God bless
and you too. Yeah. So that's a Polo from Belgium. And another caller is on the line too. Here. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you too. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very, very well. My name is Kule. It's been a while I've called into your program. I'm calling in from Amsterdam.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Now here we are. It is where we have now found ourselves, and somehow a lot of people believe that things are going to begin to move faster now than they were in the past months, simply because of this move. So, what's your take?
My take is very, very simple.
Right.
We have all agreed in the past that having election in Nigeria is like validating the corrupt system that has been since 1999. So it is not by election. We all know the outcome of most election in Nigeria. So Obi moving from ADC to NDC, I don't think it changes anything.
Right.
I don't think it changes anything. because he is still going to go through the ballot. He won the vote by 6 million in the last election, and nothing happened. Maybe if he had been vocal and he has been confrontational aftermath the election, maybe the politics would have been different from what we have now. Okay, but as it is, number one, Tinubu, everybody agrees that he is a shrewd politician. Even I saw one of the video he made about a week ago where he said that he fought the battle before he became president. And now that he is a president, that he didn't complete that statement.
He didn't. Remember when he did his hand like this?
Yes, where raise his hand like don't let me say
paraphrasing, right? He said, we all saw the election that before I got the ticket, and we also saw the election, the struggle before the presidential, before I got here. So now that I am here, that means come and remove me. Let's see.
Exactly.
So you have to be more. So you think somebody who is more confrontational? There's something I'm going to ask you, Sake. Right? Is that the people say he is too soft. However, when you look at those who seem so obsessed with him, somebody who came distant third 3 years ago, right, is the most kind of like intimidating, is the most softest looking opponent, and at the same time, most intimidating. That those who have control of all of these things will not spend a single day without talking about him. So do you really think being confrontational would have worked better than his own approach right now that seemed to send jitters down the spine of those who seem powerful? But you wonder why this guy with no structure traumatizes them. Do you think being confrontational changes anything?
It is simple. Atiku will not scare Tinubu for the same old reason why Tinubu will not scare Atiku.
Right.
Because they drink from the same water. They probably belong to the same clique, even regardless of the party or regardless of the politics. Maybe it will be because of the organic followership that he enjoyed, or maybe because of the youthful and vibrant Nigerians that follows him, that wanted something different. And that thing they wanted in the leadership, they've not seen it in anybody. They've not identified it in any of those politicians. Obi seems to be the closest that people wanted in the kind of leadership that they felt would take us to the promised land out of the Philistine that we're currently facing. But like Thomas Jefferson said, he said the tree of liberty is wet by the blood of tyrants and the blood of patriots.
That's right.
So, yes, the way out for us is not by the ballot. If it is by the ballot, it is settled. It is settled up to the courts. And that is why these guys have confidence after every election. They categorically tell you to go to the court because the court is settled. See, when Tinubu became governor of Lagos State in 1999, back then, I think I was about 18, 19 years old, and my mom was also active in Nigerian Union of Teachers. One of the first things that Tinubu did far back then was to build quarters for the judges.
That's right.
Then he bought I think it was under CRP back then that he gave, I'm not too sure, allegedly, that he presented to the judges in Lagos State. And the strategy didn't change when he became president. So he
went as far as giving them choice land, though. In Viha, all those all those areas, so like choice lands that all these judges ended up selling for billions of naira on record, though.
Exactly, that has been the framework for this guy, and it is a working framework in our policy. So, if anything we want differently, if Obi would want a different outcome to the election, then his approach has to be a way. Like the previous speaker said, all these ones that he will be speaking and will not be audible, and he's trying to put himself across like a gentleman. He's trying to put himself like a considerate politician, calling Atiku my brother, calling this one my elder brother. We have left that type of politics. Even with a long stick, you cannot dine with the devil. That they showed him in ADC just now, right? Yes. So if he's going to get a different output this time around, then he needs to do it differently. If he knows he wants to go to the ballot, then he has to state categorically that if the vote of every electorate does not count, then the government should expect X, Y, Z. It was Buhari that said it in the past that there will be baboon and blood if the election didn't go out well.
I don't think somebody like Obi would want that. Do you know how many people died after that in that threat? Over 1,000 people were slaughtered, though, including 7 NYSC coppers, remember, in Bauchi?
Yes, I do, but either the threat comes or not, are people not being slaughtered constantly in Nigeria? People are dying constantly. You say, Maiyegun, if 20,000 people die before tomorrow morning in Nigeria, they are all collateral damage. Life will go on. But Tinubu will not cancel his trip to wherever he's gone to. It doesn't mean there will be state of emergency in that state where people died. So people dying in Nigeria, we have been desensitized to people's deaths. We have been desensitized to different kinds of deaths in Nigeria. So it is better now that we should allow those deaths to be meaningful. And the only way they can be meaningful is for Obi. Obi has to change his approach. I just wish that Obi, with all the thing is enjoyed. I'm using for the right word now. The generosity of the people's heart. That Obi has the kind of courage like Showore. The courage that Showore has a name. I wish it was embedded in Obi. So that at that point it becomes clear to the authority, to the state, to the state actors, to the yes.
What he wrote? He published and tweeted something this morning, and that is long piece, right? So for those who probably have that, I think it's paragraph 4 or so. Okay. So he was talking about this issue, the idea of being gentle, which has earned him no real respect. That's what I see in it. Okay. I'm going to quote him, paraphrase. Okay. I think it's, what do you call it? I think it's third paragraph. He said, we now live in an environment that has become increasingly toxic, where the system that should protect and create opportunities for decent living often works against the people. A society where intimidation, insecurity, endless scrutiny, and discouragement have become normal. Then he continued, said, more painful is when some of those you associate with, believing you would find understanding and solidarity among them, become part of the pressure you face. Some who publicly identify with you or privately distance themselves or join in unfair criticism. Then he said, we live in a society where humility is mistaken for weakness. Respect is seen as a lack of courage, and compassion is treated as foolishness. A system where treating people equally is questioned simply because you refuse to worship status, tribe, class, or power. So this was Obi, uttering out his own inner thoughts from his struggle, not just from those in government, but from those he has been associating with, if we have to use that context. That despite his humility, his approach to life in a way, they still do not want to give him that respect. They do not give him that. And he feels like that's sad. And that's like somebody who was like crying out to say, man, all this effort, people are just not built the same or built the same way, So,
Baba, Maiyegun, see, all of the things that we said, there is no new thing that he's saying. Either the toxicity.
So you are saying that
politics,
he should turn it up and stop being nice.
There is nothing. He is like preaching to the choir. He hasn't said anything that the government lacks compassion, that the government doesn't respect the citizen, that the policy is bereft of intimidation and oppression, or there is toxicity in the policy, or there is insecurity. What has he said that is different from what the average citizen experience every other day? See, the Bible says that the kingdom of heaven suffer violence, and by violence we shall take it. And it is not different from the policy we have in Nigeria. Gentleman politics would not lead to anywhere in Nigeria. Politics of identifying with people like Atiku or referencing them as my elder brother or aligning with Malami or Amici or any of this structure of criminality would not lead to anywhere different from the previous results. What if he is serious about his intention, about his goal? If he is serious about leading Nigerians out of darkness into the promised land, then he needs to change his strategy. He needs to be more confrontational. He needs to be more audacious. He needs to be more bold and courageous. He needs to wear a similar hat like Shuri. I'm not saying that he should change his personality, but as a leader, he needs to come out with his chest. It has gotten to that point in Nigerian politics that being gentleman or coming across
being bullied is no longer the
pushing
quality
down
you expect in a leader.
It is not all working. He needs to change his approach. The only way he can change his approach is to speak the same language that they understand. Buhari said it in the past, and we also saw how things change for him. So it will be everyone did not fall. You see, like I said, when Buhari talked about Babu and blood, over 1,000 people died. So nothing has changed. Nigeria did not break up because of that. So if Obi wants to change it, if he wants a different result in the next election, he knows what to do. Last time he contested, before I leave, the last time he contested, there was this perception that he won. All of his followers, every one of them was expecting that big, bold move from Obi, and that move was for him to fall into the streets and demand for accountability from the authorities. Did he do that? No. So if he wants a different result, he needs to change his approach. Maiyegun, thank you for your time and good job for what you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a pleasant.
And you too, Baba. Take it easy, okay? You have a very good evening, okay? And yes, okay, there is another caller, and I have to take it because I know a lot of people would want to add there one or two things, but I got my caller. If you are still here with me and you haven't really liked the broadcast, come on. Right? It won't take much of your time. All right. Just leave the comment section for a sec and like it. It does help. Promise. Hello there.
Hey, Maiyegun General.
Baba. How are you?
How are you doing? This is Anthony from Austin.
Oh, Anthony. How are you doing this evening? Because I know it's afternoon though, but how are you?
Yes. I'm very well. It's been a while. I haven't called in.
Not just yourself. You know, it's been a while that we had a good time having a chat like this on Maiyegun's Diary Politico.
Absolutely.
And I've missed it, honestly.
Yes, we haven't missed it. And now, you're actually coming back to it at the right time because this is the time that everything is getting bumper to bumper.
Interesting. You know what I mean? So, and I'm glad that a lot of you are also keying into it as well. Like, everybody wants to have their own say, which is good. So,
100%.
You know,
but let me quickly say this. I hope the last caller is hearing. Please, anyone who calls should be considerate. A lot of people want to talk, and so for that, I'm going to start with myself. I'm not going to be long. So, a quick one. My observation is that the APC, because Obi and Kwankwaso have left ADC now to NDC, you will find out that all the problems with ADC will be gone. And they will allow that party to stay. Some people are thinking that the APC will continue to find a way to drag down ADC. I think differently. And this is why. They would want that party to remain so that Atiku can prepare up with Amechi to run on ADC to be able to make it a 3-horse race.
I think I'm going to agree with you. Go on.
This is what I think they're going to do. Their major fear is Obi and Kwankwaso. And then the only thing they think will help them is to keep that division between the earlier coalition, which is now the division between Obi, Kwankwaso, Amechi, and Atiku and Amechi. So if Atiku insists on contesting, they will find a way to wash clean all what is happening in ADC now, to let that platform stay. And Atiku, being a serial contestant and a serial loser, will still go there to disgrace himself. And that will, of course, there are still people that are loyal to him up north. He won't get much from the south. But whatever thing he's going to get from the north would be votes that ordinarily would have gone to Obi and Kwankwaso. Okay? So to my own analysis, that is what the APC is going to do. So watch out. I might be wrong, but that's my prediction.
I mean,
Number
if
two,
we have to make use of all the available, I now call them the crumb information, which are the snippets that come from their circle, right? So I am going to agree with you, because if what happened to Labour Party lasted for like a year and a half, Baba, last year the court ruled that Nnamdi Usman is the right executive. INEC did not obey that law until Peter Obi left in December.
After Obi left
in February, INEC decided to reinstate them, and everything started going on smoothly. Then court cases started going normally. The judgment is going in the favor of the Nnamdi Usman, just like that.
Right.
Something they couldn't resolve for 2 years. So.
Yes, sir. Let me make my quick, the last one, because I am the one who just advocated for people to be quick so that others can call.
No, that's my own fault. I mean, when we have this conversation like this, right, it makes in fact, it actually gives you, your point, right?
It's enjoyable. The interaction is enjoyable, yes.
You get what I mean? So, but I understand too. So,
I know.
Please, go on. Don't worry.
Yes. Okay. So, the other part of it that I'm looking at is, see, APC, Tinubu, they know they have lost. If something is done right, they know they are already out of the game. If this opposition are serious, they have to mount pressure to make sure that all those sinister additions to the electoral law, which Mike Ijini, the great man, I call him now the great man in Nigeria, has pointed out, we all have seen it. They should take this fight to INEC. Not only INEC, take it to the international community, write to the UN, write to OAU, write to all organizations, and write all the embassies, and let them know that this is the plan that these people have to rig the election. And not only that, for any obedient that is hearing, this is no longer like last election. It should be like a fight to finish. No matter what happens, let people get ready to sacrifice, even if it is 4 days, in the polling unit to make sure that this election is not tampered with. What I perceive from the incumbent government that broke through, that stole themselves into power, is that they are ready to do anything to cling to power. Why?
Yes.
Because they know what will come down on them. This hatchet job has been handed over to Nation Wike, and he's a man that is ready to kill and maim as many as is on his way to achieve the victory. Nigerians, if they are ready, should match them, because when they talk about thugs are human beings like you and I.
That's right.
If you outnumber the thugs, they will run. There's nothing like passion. Passion leaves inducement. The thugs act based on inducement, the money, and they will want to do what they are sent to do and go back home alive to enjoy that money they have been paid.
That's right.
And if you confront them with passion, they will run away because they don't want to die. They are looking at the money they have been paid. So that, to me, they should make sure everyone and all of us in that.
I get your advice, and I also understand our time management and the rest of that. But I have one question, because the way you are talking in this optimistic kind of like a tone, hoping that this is the time people should grab it. Do you really think this time around, Peter Obi can actually mobilize millions of these people back to the poll again, despite all that people have, spoken about concerning their lack of trust or no interest in the electoral system again. Do you think that Obi still has that to mobilize them back to the poll like they did the last time? Okay. So I think I lost Anthony. I will leave that to my other callers, okay? Because, hang on. What happened? I'm very sorry there, Anthony. So I think my line just got rebooted in a way, and I lost my caller. So give me 1 sec. Here, I'm going to use this as a break in between, okay? We still have like another half an hour before we go. So for those of you who are still calling in, you are going to have your shots. So they sent Akume as part of the infighting that barely makes it to the news when it comes to the APC. They have a lot of problems themselves, all right? And the reason why they don't make it to the public and they don't even go to court is because Kolu and others control the court. So you can't bypass them and decide to come and shock them. Not like other opposition parties that can easily, So Akume is the secretary to the government of the federation. Alia is the governor of Benue. And there's another one who is a former governor. I think it's Suswan or something. So they all met because Kolu said they should go and settle their differences because there is an effort to make sure that the Benue state governor, Alia, is not returned the second time using their consensus arrangement too. Sure you get. Well, they said they are united. I don't know how long that's going to last. Let's use it like in between break. Bear with me.
I'm very, very strongly that we have to support earlier to go back. Let me tell you. They said when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers. So the people of Benue are suffering on this leveling issue. I remember during the campaign period, sometimes I leave the house of the NCM 3, 4 a.m. midnight, planning how to take over Benue for the PDP. And I feel it's the right time for the people of Benue. I'm very, very strongly that.
So they have been trying to find peace among themselves for a while. George Akume is, as the secretary of the government of the federation, he himself is a former governor of Benue State. And according to his record, he has always been like an instrumental to the emergence of anyone who became governor in Benue State. And once they become governor, they always go out of favor with him because of his, I think his overbearing attitude or something, by them rejecting his kind of control. In order not to lose Benue, right, they decided to go and do some reconciliation. And I think did Obi not even win the Benue the last time, the Obedience? I think they declared Benue and Plateau states in the middle belt of Nigeria for Obi. And there is this window that people are saying that they could take or use in 2027. They are saying that there will be no going to court. So the election will be determined right there at the polling unit without having to wait for the judiciary to make any pronouncement, this or that. And that, I don't know how that's going to probably play out. There are things that people are saying, and enough to say what happened in 2023, they will do their best to make sure that it never happened again. How that is going to pan out, we don't know. So I am going to call it tonight. I'm so sorry to those of you who are still. Okay, I'll take this because I put it back on. I don't know why the line just got so turned off. So here, I believe, is the first lady for the evening. Is that Charm?
Good evening, Maiyegun. I don't know, you memorize my number.
Sometimes I may guess wrong though, right? It's been a long time and I'm beginning to forget how it all appears, but that's something that I won't forget. So Lady Charm, how are you doing this evening?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well too. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not gonna stay too long. I didn't want to talk to you, honest. I'm sure you can even hear from my voice. Right. I'm still recovering.
Well, go on.
I don't listen to a lot of callers coming, he needs to change his ways, he needs to be a bit more, this and that, and I'm like, wow. So the same personality, the same attitude that made the man that he is today. That's the same personality that I want him to change. He's not doing anything. He's doing what is within his nature that made him successful, that made him visible to all of us. That's the same personality that I want him to change. Are you people joking? What's wrong with you guys? And then you're talking about opposition. The problem we have here in Nigeria is that they don't even recognize who the biggest opposition is. The opposition is not the party. It's not NDC. It's not AGC. It's not any, The opposition, the biggest opposition to government is the electorate, is the people. So when you exclude yourself and say them, right? You take away your power. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You are your first line of defense. You're talking about, oh yes, he should have hit the streets in 2023. No. Obi's vote is one. He only voted once. You voted once. The time to hit the street is when you have decided amongst yourself that your vote did not count. You don't have to wait for Obi. All this waiting for
being stolen.
Your vote was being stolen. All this, we're waiting for Obi should come out and no, Obi should not come out and do nothing. If it is that important to you, you go out and do something. This Messiah mentality that we have in that continent, not just Nigeria, in that African continent, somebody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. And in fact, the fact that we think the way we do is a sure banker for the 1% that is planning on the resources of Africa. Africans are not even aware. Leaders are meeting in secret places, in the room where it matters, to decide the fate of a continent. Whereas the people in that continent, they're clueless. They have no clue. Has anybody ever wondered why Tinubu is always going to France all the time? You think it's just to get a blood transfusion? He's in the room where it happens. He knows what he's doing, and he's working firmly for them. And until we realize that we are our biggest weapon, we are the biggest opposition that we have. Not any party, not Obi, not anyone who will come after Obi, because if Obi doesn't become successful today, somebody else will still come. Not that person. We have to say, you know what, enough of this. Enough of this nonsense. Enough of this, like we're talking about the electoral act and everything that they've implemented with all the lies and all the mess inside there. People are still waiting for somebody to go out there. Go out there and say, you know what, no elections until you correct this thing. No elections until we change what is inside here. You people are still planning for, you're waiting for Obi. I don't understand. I know a lot of people are not going to like what I say, but I couldn't be asked about any of that. I firmly believe in the power of the person. And I believe that we are our biggest opposition. Waiting for any formed party or any other person to come and save you or to come and save me.
That may never happen.
It's just a non-starter. It's never going to happen. There's only one Messiah, and it's not any of these people. He has come, we're expecting him to come again, but in terms of politics today, I'm not looking for anybody to save me. I have to save myself. Okay? So, this whole idea is just, sometimes I listen to this and I'm like, what are we talking about? They're talking about opposition. Don't you know that you are the opposition? You don't have to belong to anybody. You have to say so.
If we are being honest, I mean, technically you are not wrong. Because when you think the politicians are the opposition, are you not seeing them cross-carpeting, mingling here and there, so unreliable? And most of them are also banking on supposedly the people's, vulnerability, so to say, taking advantage of that. They are not coming to save anybody. I agree.
They're not coming to save anyone, So I just want us to stop this thing that we're doing. If you want a better Nigeria, if you want to take Nigeria, if you want that geographical expression called Nigeria to get to be off the table, to be off the market of the people that are still planning for us, do you understand? We are the ones that are going to have to change things. And the only way we can change things is if we stop waiting for somebody to stand in front. Who is going to stand in front? Go out there. Unless you're saying that you're not yet tired. I don't have energy to talk about.
No, you have actually you've talked enough. So thank you so much for at least stopping by. Okay, you have a very lovely week. Okay?
All right. You too,
Cheers, ma'am. So I am also going to wrap it up now, and I'm going to see you again this week. Please, those who are stayed up to this hour, and you haven't really shared this broadcast or even subscribed to the channel, maybe you should if you actually enjoy this, and so that you won't miss anything afterward. And to the rest of us who have always been here, the Templars in the Temple of Truth, thank you. We had the double today, meaning if you are just joining us this evening, there's one that happened earlier today. You could probably take a watch as well. I am going to see everyone there, every one of you another time. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon or your evening. And you all have a wonderful and great week too. So thank you so much. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun dayari Politico. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa mi.
àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa mi.
àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa mi.
àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa mi.
àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa mi.
àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.